Hi artists, it's Mrs. RT, the art teacher at the Angelo School, and today we're going to read Where the Wild Things Are. The night Max wore his wolf suit, he made mischief of one of a kind. And another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So she sent him to bed without eating anything. The very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Look at those trees in the bedroom. Do you have a forest in your bedroom? And grew and grew until the ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world around him. And the ocean tumbled with a private boat for Max. He sailed through the day and night. And in and out of weeks, almost a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with a magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And they made him king of the wild things. And now, Max cried, let the wild rumpus start. The parade of where the wild things are. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. And then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." But Max said no. The wild things roared their terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year, in and out of weeks, and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. So that was Where the Wild Things Are, a book all about imagination and seeing what Max could come up with his own mind and imagination. So now we're going to draw a wild thing. I'm going to show you how to draw a wild thing that looks like this one. But remember, these are all made up creatures that Max used in his imagination. So if yours looks different, or if you want to change the way the head looks, or maybe how the arms are, you can make your own version of a wild thing. So you should grab a piece of paper and a pencil if you have one. I'm going to start with a marker so that you can see what I'm drawing. We're going to start with the head. We're going to start with a big circle. For the eyes, we're going to do 2 circles. With 2 circles on the inside of the eye. You can color that in with your pencil, marker, crayons, whatever art materials you have with you at home. And then for the nose on the bottom, I did 3 curves like the letter U. And then connected them with a curve over the top. For this wild thing, I made a big smile. So he looks kind of happy, but then he has a lot of sharp triangle teeth. I modeled it after this wild thing from the book. So first I made a big smile that goes across the face. And triangle teeth all the way across the smile. And this wild thing that I was looking at in the book has 2 big horns. So for that, we can start above the eyes, go up to a point, and then back down and connect the bottom. And if you're using a pencil at the end, this little line here, you'd be able to erase so that you can't see it, just like these ones. We're going to do one on the other side. And then since they're wild things, we're going to give him some wild hair. So I just made some zigzag lines all the way around the face and above the head too, for the hair on the top of his head. And I did a small row of hair under the horns too that will go right over his face. And then for the shirt, I did 2 lines going down and 1 to connect them on the bottom. Then I made 2 arms. And in the book, they kept talking about their terrible claws. So I made claws for the hands and the toes. And for the shirt, I made it striped. If you want to make yours with polka dots or a different pattern, you can make that on yours. Remember, this is your wild thing, so you can use your own creativity and make it look a little bit different. For the legs, I made 1 line down, crossed over for the bottom of the foot, back up for the leg, over, down for the other leg, over, and then back up. And then some more claws for the toes. And there we have a wild thing. Now you can use whatever art materials you have to color them in with. You could give it a background. They could be swinging from the trees or in a wild thing parade, just like in the story. So now it's your turn to get creative and finish up your wild thing. Have fun. I can't wait to see what you make.